Okay, this is the next project in this project cycle. This is called, grading cycle. This project is called Horace Eye. This is an example of what it looked like. You have the different layers here. You need to make sure it says Essential Classic, and some things you need to make sure. So click on View. You need to have Step to Point checked, Smart Guides checked. Make sure your rulers, make sure your rulers are visible. So you click Show Rulers. You have to have that selected. Okay. So this is what it looked like. So I'm going to click on go back to Canvas and actually get you started here. So I'm going to actually this is the main page. I click on Modules. Now you have this Horace Eye assignment here. And click on that. This is the way it's going to look. So you're going to click on this file here and you're going to download. That's a file you start with. So you're going to open up this. It's going to look like that. It's fine. Click on Download. It's going to download it here. And then you can go back to Illustrator and click File, Open. Okay, you should be like wherever you put that, maybe in your downloads. So you click on Horace and click Open and click OK. If that comes up, it's going to continue. I would actually just hit Control 0 and it's going to make it full screen so I can see everything. Okay, so you have these two layers to start with. Okay, so we're going to finish up with having 3 layers, but we're going to start with having 2 layers. Okay, so first off, you're going to do is turn your guides. So these guides, and you're going to show the guides. So I have 3 little boxes here. What you're going to do here first is you're going to click on the rectangle tool, and we're going to click on Horace layer. So we're going to add that to Horace layer. So we'll click on this. It's going to be in your center, and I click and drag out. Click and drag. So it's going to line up. So the pink, purple line, pinkish purple, it's going to line up with the top line here. And you should have like a little line, so it shows up right, like a rectangle. So you click off there, creates a rectangle shape. Then you actually click on View, Guides, and then make a guide. So it's going to change there. Okay. And now you want to click on the selection tool, the black arrow. So I just deselect that. Click out here and deselected everything. Now I need to click all. There's actually I need to create 2 more guides. So I click inside the ruler. Okay, in the ruler, click and drag down. It's got this little line. I need to go down here to where it says anchor right here. So there's a guide, and I'm going to create another guide at the bottom of that line where it says path or anchor, either one. So I've got these different lines. So I can just click out in the gray area to deselect everything. So now I need to select all of the light blue lines. So again, by selecting things, I just click and drag. Now I've got the top 2 boxes selected. Now hold down the Shift key, and I can just click and drag over these 3 and have those 3 selected. Now I have just 1 box here, and I need to select. So hold down the Shift key again, click and drag over it, and it's got that 4th box selected. Now what I'm going to do is click on a new layer here, and title. So I'll double click on layer 3, title guides. Okay, click and enter, and then this little blue square here, I just click and drag that to guides. And it's going to be like a green color. Yours might be a different color. So if it's a different color, you can actually just double click on this empty area next to guides. And then you can actually change the color on any one of these layers. You can change to whatever color you want to. If mine's a green, but you can change to whatever color. The color really doesn't matter. It helps you color code things and know which is on which layer. That's what it's for. Okay. But mine is red, green, and blue. Okay. But again, you can choose whatever you want. Okay. So we're going to actually click on Horace layer, and then we click on this little circle next to it. Okay. That selects everything that's on the Horace layer. All these other thick black lines are selected now. So that's the only thing that's selected is on this layer, which everything is the Horace is on here. So I need to do something. I need to change the opacity up here to 30% and choose enter, and it's going to be a gray. I want it to be a template, so it's got a gray area. And then you need to lock the layer. So click on this empty area right here, and it locks it. So that way I can't change that layer. I can't do anything to the layer. Now I need to actually, my guides are on, so my guides need to be locked as well. So the bottom 2 layers need to be locked. and then I click back on highlight the draw here layer and turn them back on. So now I have only the eyelid and the eyebrow. Okay. So now I need to create all the things that are gray. So I'm actually first going to start with the line segment tool. It's right here. Click on this. It might just say line segment tool. Okay, I'm going to hold down the Alt key and scroll to that's the easiest way to zoom. I need to be able to see that full line there. So I'm going to click on the anchor point right here. It needs to say anchor. Click and drag it down, straight down to where it says anchor point right here. And you let go. Now, these lines, they need to be rounded. If they're not rounded, so you click on the word stroke. And up here, you have some options of like caps. So you can square it off, you can round it, or this is another square off. But you want to make sure it's rounded here, okay? So it probably is default, but I'll just make sure it's rounded. Now next time we're going to go to the arc tool. So click inside here where it says anchor here. Anchor, and I want you to drag it out to where like it's kind of like that red line matches the middle of the gray line. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to click on the bottom here where it says anchor and click on another one. So again, the red line will match up the middle of the gray line. So it's not perfect, but it's coming close. Okay, now we're going to use the scissor tool. Okay, so we had that first line selected, and click on the scissor. It looks like a scissor. It might be under your eraser tool. You might see the eraser tool. Click and drag that down, and click and hold it down to grab the scissor tool. So I'm going to hold the Alt key and scroll the wheel on my mouse to zoom in. So where this red line, see the red line is popping up? I want to make sure it goes over to the intersection right here. Now I have this top layer. I can zoom out and have just the top part of it selected. Now I hit the backspace key once, and now hit twice, and deletes everything there. Okay. Now select the selection tool again. I can select this black layer here, this like long, and I click on the scissors tool again, and I'm gonna click on where see this line that's coming up right here, where that matches up and say intersection there. So now I have this part, just the extension of the line there. So then I can click on backspace once and backspace twice and delete it, okay? Now click on the selection tool again, click on this top one. Now hold the shift key down. Now grab the bottom one with this layer here, and I'm gonna right click and say join. Now those two layers, I can double click out here and deselect it. Now if I click on top, both of those are going to be selected. That's what we're going to do. There's a few different ones here. Now I'm going to zoom Alt and scroll so I can zoom out to see this other little like swirl here. I'm going to start with actually using the arc tool. So I need to click on the anchor point, and I'm going to drag out to click and drag, of course, to where again the red line is in the middle of the gray line. So it looks about. It needs to match this blue guideline. That's why I put it there. But the red line, it should be so you don't want it to be out here and you don't want it to be in here. So you want that to be in the middle of the gray line, right about there. Okay. Maybe it's a little bit off, but that's fine. Just as long as you get it really close to the tracing there. Okay. Now we're going to actually use the spiral tool. So click on the anchor or the arc tool, and then grab the spiral tool. Okay. This one you're going to click once. So it should say 11.1209. Okay. It really doesn't matter. So as long as you have some kind of radius there. Okay. And the decay, this is really important. Make sure your decay is set to 77%. And make sure the segments, I think it's default to use 10. And make sure it's changing out to 6 segments. And you need to make sure this left arrow is the left spiral selected. And choose OK. It's going to give you a little small thing, but what you're going to do is actually click on the selection tool. It's going to give you a bounding box. And I'm going to click not here where it's got the two-sided arrow, just a little bit outside till it changes to like a curved two-shaped arrow. Now hold down the shift key, and I click and drag and I rotate that around. It's going to rotate around to perfectly 90 degrees. Now let go of my mouse first and then my shift key second. Okay. Now I just drag that click on the line and drag that down. Okay, so somewhere over here. It doesn't really matter too much. So now I'm going to actually, these four sides here, not the corners, but just four sides here, I'm going to make sure that it matches them. So it needs to go to that little line there. This thing, actually I can scroll over a little bit. I can click an arrow and scroll over so I can see everything. So this line, the smart guides are on, so it can show you where that should line up with the purple line. Again, this one is doing the same thing, so it lines up in the purple line. And then this one, the top box, will line up at actually the middle, and it's just that purple line says intersect. If it didn't say intersect, it's going to be like a line. It's like if I change that and I go over here, then it should have like a line. See the purple line? The red line changes to purple, and I let go. So that should match up exactly with your spiral. Now I need to hold the shift key down, and I select the other arc here, and I right click, and now I can choose join. So it's all joined now. So if I deselect, I click out here in the white area, it's deselected. Now I click on the arc right here, and everything is selected. I've selected, that's why I see a bounding box right here. Okay. The last thing we're doing, the Alt key, scroll out, scroll in again. So we need to actually get the eyeball. Okay. So we're going to actually use the click on the drag, click and hold this down. Now go down to polar grid tool. Now what you do is you go to the center. You're going to click and drag out. It might start with, I'm clicking the up arrow, and it's going to add number of circles. And the down arrow will decrease circles, but I want 3. There's 3 lines, okay? While I'm still holding my mouse, I click on 2 buttons with my left hand. I'll hold the shift key down, and then also hold down the alt key. It's going to draw from the center there. So I'm 2 fingers, or 1 finger is holding a shift and alt, and my left hand, and then I'm holding down my mouse. So get that to actually, and I can just go and actually just matches up right here with a little line, so that makes the middle of all those gray lines. So I let go of my mouse first, and then I let go of my left hand. Okay, so that's perfectly line up right. So I need to trim off the rest of his little eye. That's like, oh, I'm sorry, I need to select both things. So select this layer and then select the icon, a shift key that adds to my selection, and then click on the eyeball, the eyelid, I guess. Now, I'm sorry, I need to select both things. Make sure you select both things. Scissor tool, click the intersection here, and then you come around to grab this where the intersect together, right there. And it's really precise. It might take a minute. And click there. So now I've got just the top of that little circle selected. Now hit the backspace once and delete half of it. Now backspace again and delete the other half of it. Okay. Now I can hit Control and 0, and it's it's finished there. So I have my Horace layer with locked guidelines that's 30%. And the guidelines, all the blue lines are just locked again. And the draw here layer, that's where I've drawn, and I've covered over the tracing there and have everything like that. Okay. So then you can actually click on Shift. We're finished. You can click on Save As, and now it's already saved as Horace. And so you can click on Save. I'd probably recommend putting in your ID folder, and that comes up. Click OK, yes, and OK. Then I can go back to my Canvas assignment. That's I'll close this for a minute. In the Canvas assignment, then I click on. I need to go to my student view. Student view. I click Start Assignment. Now click Upload and choose, and then I go back to my Horace assignment wherever you saved it in your ID folder. I'm not sure, ID folder or downloads. Find Horace. Then you click Horace here. So then you click Open, and it should be up there, and you click Submit, and then it submits. Okay, and that should be it. Thanks for watching.